everybody, this is Jen from Frugal Upstate, and I'm here today to show you a cute project that I did for my mom for Mother's Day. And I made this chalkboard labeled storage container. Now, you could do this with any kind of container. I chose these 3 cracker jars from Walmart. This one was $4.95, this one was $3.95, and this was $2.95. So that winds up to be about $12 for all 3. And then the only other supplies you really need is some chalkboard paint. This is about $5. And some painter's tape. Other than that, you should already have something like a foam brush or a paintbrush, and maybe something like a X-Acto knife or a razor blade at home. So the project is really simple. All you're going to do is paint the label on. You start out by taking your jar, and you're going to wash it and dry it to make sure the surface is clean. And then you're just going to take your painter's tape and mask off the area that you want the label for. So as you can see, I went ahead and I masked off the area on this one and started. And I want to give you a tip. First, you want to make sure you really burnish down these edges on the tape, because you don't want them to bubble up and for the paint to go under them while you're working on your project. So you can use maybe a credit card to really score down those edges, or your thumbnail or something to make sure it's really on. And then you just take your paint. You can use something like a jar lid as a palette, put some paint on there, and you're going to stroke it on. Now, as you can see, it comes out a little streaky at first, so you're going to have to do multiple layers of paint. Just do the first layer. The glass is very slick. The acrylic isn't going to want to stick really well. So you do that layer and you let it dry fully, about 4 to 6 hours. And then what you're going to want to do is probably rotate it the other way and make sure that your brush marks are going in the other way so you don't get a stripe effect. You start filling in those grooves. And I would do it probably a 3rd time. I believe I did this one 3 times to get a good solid coat with a really good amount of dry time in between. Now, a little tip I picked up by doing it wrong the first time is you're going to want to take something sharp, like an X-Acto knife, and when it's time to peel this off, you're going to want to really cut right next to the tape where you're going to want to take it off before you peel. Otherwise, you might wind up peeling a big chunk of your paint off. So if you do that, like I did down in this bottom corner, you're going to want to take a little tiny paintbrush and just very carefully paint it in, let it dry, and maybe do a 2nd coat. Now, this acrylic looks great. It should last quite a long time as long as you don't use anything that's going to scratch it. I would not use it on anything you're planning to eat on, and I wouldn't scrub it really hard with a lot of soap and water, although as acrylic it should be water resistant. So an outside label on something like this is a great idea. Now, when you're completely done, you should condition the paint by taking a piece of chalk, putting it on its side and sort of scribbling over the whole thing, and then wiping it off with a dry cloth. And then you are ready to go ahead and label your jars and use them for a gift at any time. So I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. I think my mom's really going to love these. All the mothers out there, have a happy Mother's Day. And why don't you think about joining me at my blog, Frugal Upstate, www.frugalupstate.com, and also on my Facebook page at facebook.com/frugalupstate. Thanks.